Hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here today, my name is Odds, and we are going to be discussing the incredibly meta and fourth wall breaking episode of She-Hulk. This is the finale of She-Hulk. It was quite interesting, to say the least. It's not like any finale we've gotten so far, so we're going to talk about it. I'm going to try to do a breakdown for it, but there's a lot going on here, so we'll dive into that a little bit. If you're new here today, I would love for you to subscribe. I do 2 videos a week, Marvel, DC, Star Wars, beauty, vlogs, or something on this channel for everyone, so be sure to stay tuned for that. And if you like this video while you're watching, make sure to give it a big old thumbs up. So this episode starts out like any other episode of She-Hulk. There's a little bit of fourth wall breaking. We see some consequences from the last episode. Like I predicted, Jen is fired from her job. She's also forced to wear an inhibitor chip. But before that, there is a dream sequence of her like set up in the old 70s Hulk TV show. That we saw from the initial teaser trailer, so that's in this episode. It's not anything that's important, it's like basically a dream sequence, but she moves back into her parents' house after getting fired, so Jen is on the way out, and it's not great for her at this point, and she's forced to, of course, wear that inhibitor chip that prevents her from turning into She-Hulk. Nikki then decides that she's going to post something on the Intelligentsia site and get them to bait so that they can, she can figure out who these people are. They have Pug go to this event that they're having, which turns out to be at the same lodge as where Jen's at. It's at the lodge where, at Abomination's, at Emil's compound. So that's really interesting. We find out that Todd is in charge of the Intelligentsia. He started it, and he's going to use himself to use Jen's blood to get Hulk powers. That's where they thought that this was going. And then Abomination ends up showing up and to give like a speech. He tries to get Jen out of the way. Hulk shows up, starts fighting him. Titania shows up. It's a whole mess. And then Jen stops this, cuts to the Marvel screen, the Disney Plus screen. She breaks out and she goes to Marvel Assembled and goes to talk to the writers about why this finale is such a mess, which I'm kind of glad happened. I'm a little shocked it did, but this finale was going to be a huge mess. Now, what comes after, I don't necessarily love. We're going to talk about that in a second. She goes to talk to Kevin, and Kevin is, instead of k.e.v.i.n, which I'm sure that a lot of people thought it was k.e.v.i.n showing up, it's an AI, so it turns into this really meta commentary that I guess Marvel knows that it's pushing out just algorithm-based movies that are all a lot the same. Yeah. So, a lot happens here. I didn't take a lot of notes because I think I was a little shocked, but a lot happens here. There's like comics plugged into screens, which I find hilarious because it's clear that these writers do not read Marvel comics. Like, whatever you feel about that, it is what it is, but like they don't follow the comics, so like I don't know exactly what they're talking about. She makes some mention about Bruce, and they make a mention about Bruce, and then she says save it for the movie, so I think this is more confirmation that we're getting a World War Hulk. We have further confirmation of that later in the episode, which I'll talk about when we get to it. So then she goes back to her episode. They're outside. It's daylight. Todd goes to jail. Emil goes back to jail for being Abomination. Daredevil shows back up because she requested that Daredevil shows back up, and then it ends with them at the family barbecue, the Walters family barbecue. Bruce then shows up with Scar, his alien Hulk son after being on Sakaar for a while. So we found out he was on Sakaar, like we had predicted, and he comes back with his son Scar. So that's more proof that World War Hulk is coming. And then the post-credit scene is Emil escaping prison to go live at Kamatage with Wong. So we're getting some Emil Wong buddy cop storyline going on there. I really want him to join the Thunderbolts, so I'm a little bit bummed that he went with Wong and didn't stay. I thought maybe when Emil showed up, we were going to see Val show up and try to recruit him, but that did not happen. So I guess the Thunderbolts is just going to be a bunch of super soldiers. So that is what it is, I guess. Let's talk Scar. This design is terrible, guys. Like, absolutely disgusting. Like, whoever designed that character model needs to go to jail immediately because it is not cute. I get they're trying to kind of make him look more like Bruce, but Jesus Christ, it's an abomination, y'all. Not good. They did make speaking of character designs and visual effects, they made a comment about how they've already moved on to other projects for special effects. And the Black Panther Wakanda Forever, the Black Panther theme played. So that was a cute little nod. But the other thing is, that's an incredibly poor taste considering the fact that visual effects artists are coming out and saying that it's like horrible to work for Marvel, and of all these projects that are being pumped out, like, it's not a good experience for them. So maybe let's not make light of this situation. I don't know, like, maybe that's just me. I just thought it was an incredibly poor taste. Also, hate to mention, when it comes to the comic accuracy, they put some in those comic books that are plugged into the screens. There's stuff about Wanda Maximoff and comics that are especially about her Romani heritage, which is just whitewashed in the MCU, so not cute. Maybe they should pay a little bit more attention to details in the writer's room versus like the details they put in for Easter eggs. So that's just my 2 cents on that. Overall, I liked the show. I don't know how I feel about this episode. Like I said, when it was like the beginning, I didn't like where it was going, so I did like they did something different. It was interesting. They really went real meta with it, so that was interesting to see. I don't know if I loved it. That's just me. The show as a whole, liked it. I love Jen Walters, so I want to see more of her. Speaking of, they're teased as if she's going to be on the big screen. They say no. I think she will be. She will at least be in Secret Wars. But I imagine she'll probably be in the next Avengers film as well. I would love to see her lead an A-Force. I don't think that is the secret Marvel project. I think the secret Marvel project is World War Hulk. I think they worked out a deal with Universal to get the rights to the Hulk back so that they're able to do a Hulk film. So I think the film will be World War Hulk. They used a lot of Planet Hulk in Thor Ragnarok, which leads up to World War Hulk. So we'll see kind of how they end up doing it, because they're not going to deal with like the Avengers tricking him off planet. That didn't necessarily happen. And him getting revenge on, because it deals with the Illuminati, and the Illuminati has only been seen once. So the Illuminati didn't trick him off planet, and he doesn't need to get revenge off the Illuminati. So we'll see where he pops up again. But I'm pretty sure Bruce and Scar will be in World War Hulk. I know she's not in World War Hulk, but I would love to see, we gotta bring her back. I would love to see Betty Ross in a World War Hulk film, either as Harpy or as Red She-Hulk. I think she would be great in a World War Hulk, especially if you're doing World War Hulk Why don't you just make it like a Hulk fan film and have all the Hulks be in it? I think that would be really cool, especially with the rumors that they're recasting Thaddeus Ross. That would be cool to see. So about Jen, where's Jen gonna pop up again? It's possible she might pop up in Daredevil Born Again at this point, because she doesn't have a job, or she does have a job. She got her job back, I guess. We don't really know. It's a little up in the air. She's at least representing herself in court, but she has future job prospects. She lives with her parents, so maybe she'll move to New York and hang out with Matt Murdock some more. So maybe she'll be in Daredevil Born Again. I don't know. That would be cool to see. I really hope whatever relationship they're putting between Jen and Matt doesn't ruin Matt and Elektra, because Matt and Elektra is a top tier MCU or top tier Marvel ship, and we need to see more Elektra in the MCU. And we already know, if you watch Daredevil and you deal with Daredevil, that Daredevil will pretty much cast aside anybody when Elektra shows up. Like, he is mad in love with that woman, and I agree. I get it, 100%. Another thing, I guess I was wrong about the leader. Hate doing these like videos and then you're like, what was wrong? What did I get wrong? What was he cooking? I really thought they were teasing the leader. I think with that plot line of taking the blood, I thought that was going to be where they were going with that. Does not look like it is. I don't know if they still tease the leader. Obviously the leader is coming back, but I think he'll probably be a villain. Maybe he'll be teased a little bit later, because I think he needs a bigger build-up than just showing up in Captain America 4. I would like to see him show up in some other stuff, and I really thought he was going to show up in this. I thought maybe it was the right place for him. Just a thought, Marvel writers, but who knows? Yeah, so wrong about that. Wrong about Daredevil not being in this episode, because it was kind of like a shoo-in thing. But yeah, so I thoroughly enjoyed She-Hulk. Let me know what you thought of this series down below. Looks like we are probably getting a season 2, but I hope she shows up in more stuff. Like I said, she probably will show up in Secret Wars, but that's a few years away, so we'll see if she shows up in some sort of A-Force type thing. But thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you on Monday with my Rings of Power review. Bye!